very recently you had a Bloodsport drop. That's another huge film that I grew up on as a child. Tell us about that project, and also I think that's a perfect one to speak on the what you were mentioning about the Izzy design, where it's a new design that you're using, where it's cutouts and whatnot. This is that concept, right?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Like everything I've been making this past year has been kind of the collage sprays and stuff like that. So, um, uh, I guess for people who don't know, the alternative movie poster scene is something that's kind of been building up. I would say over the last 15 years or even longer, where um, different companies will hire artists to create new versions of cult classic films. So probably the most the film with the most alternative movie posters are like Star Wars, something like that. Like if you Google Star Wars posters, it's like a billion, but they're not the
Yeah.
one, the original, but they'll be like different takes. So um, this company Mondo, which is kind of like they pretty much pioneered it, um, hit me up to do the Bloodsport poster, and um, I mean, I was super psyched because I've always been a fan of Mondo and alternative movie posters because
Okay.
it's like the zone of illustration that I'm into, which is um, stylized but um, has a little bit more time put into it than maybe like a regular comic book or editorial illustration because it's like a movie poster, so it's kind of like a subset of illustration that I've kind of always been into, and yeah, when they hit me up for Bloodsport, I was like, yes, I was like, that's the one that I can do. It's like the 300. I was like, I'm the guy for that one,
Yeah.
like um Bloodsport is the UFC basically,
Yeah. The
that's like
Kumite.
the ultimate tournament of so I was like, I know how to do this. I was like, I know how to do one-on-one guys. Um, like that was one of the films that I remember watching on TV all the time when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I think maybe I even watched it more than Rocky. I don't know, but
Yeah, I would say so. I that's me for sure. Yeah, it's one
yeah,
of my
yeah.
favorites.
So, uh, yeah, I mean, what's weird is it was like a 300. It was almost went like perfect. Like, I said the sketches, they loved it, and then just did the painting, and yeah, so yeah, and Mondo's such an insane powerhouse of like they have such an insane fan base that thing sold out
It
like
sold out in minutes, right?
yeah,
I mean,
so
yeah.
it was before I even got to post about it because they told me we're gonna drop it, this time CT, and I thought CT was like an hour later.
Yeah.
So I was doing my Instagram post, and then I posted it, and I saw that they had already posted. I was like, oh snap, it's already sold out. So I had to like edit my Instagram post because I was like, it's already sold out.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
and it sold out quick. By the time I went on to try to get one, sold out, and that was minutes in. I was like, "Wait, what
yeah.
did I miss here?" And that's the power of the audience that they,
Oh yeah.
tailored to. So that's dope. I didn't know that that was what they do, and that's their
Oh
backstory.
yeah.
So that's really cool. So even though we know that there's tight deadlines for projects, something like this, did that come about like after 300,
Oh.
and then, or was it something already locked in from before you got your work done and then it's on them for like, when the right release date is for something like that?
Yeah, so alternative movie posters is kind of they have long timelines. One because obviously they're for movies that already came out, and
Hmm.
so there's no and um, there's often uh, there's often troubles with licensing because like you're dealing with maybe new movie studios or old movie studios that have different character likeness contracts.
Yeah.
So this one had to go to Van Damme's people, like all the
Yeah.
way there. So they reached out to me maybe in November, something like that, and I finished the painting
Wow.
in January. Um,
Wow. So you've been sitting on this one for a while.
yeah. But yeah, so
Yeah.
it took it didn't take forever to get approved. Maybe it took like a month or so to get approved, and then they have to get it printed. It's like
Correct.
so. This is not just like a regular poster or something. Mondo does usually screen prints. I mean, they'll occasionally do G plays with screen prints, where it's basically they separate the colors into different layers, and it's they make different screens and put it together. So
Yeah.
when you look at the paper, it's a more involved process, I guess.
Yeah,
So
it
all
doesn't
that,
feel like you're buying a poster from Amazon. It's you feel the
yeah,
quality that you're paying for on it.
yeah. So
That's
it's a longer process. So I guess even though I finished in January, we just dropped it last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
So
2 weeks ago. Man, I mean, I think it's gonna be cool to see, what Bloodsport shrines or collectors corners pop up with them now. Talking collectors, are you a collector of anything?
yeah, so I am, but because I've lived in New York City for the past like 15 years. So actually now I lived in New York City for like 15 years until last year, and now
Yeah.
I'm in a house about 30 minutes from the city.
Okay.
I'm still in New York. I'm in Rockland County, but living in an apartment has, I feel like, been a blessing and a curse because it just you have to keep it tight. I can't buy everything. Like
Yeah.
I'm a huge, like I said, I'm into all that stuff. Into like
Comic
toys.
books. Yeah.
So I go to New York Comic Con every year,
Dope.
ever since I moved to New York City. But I think what I collect the most are like comics, because
Comics. Okay.
it's the smallest thing that I can collect. I have like these figures by my guy's plastic cell. That's just like a Rory and
Oh,
Michael Jackson.
dope, dope.
But so basically, if you look at Rogan's desk, all those the good figures that are on there are plastic cell figures. He
Very
made like
cool.
he made an Izzy one. He made actually made they made an official Joe Rogan one and like one of his dog or something.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, they're big. They're big fight fans. So I have all those. I actually did a Bruce Lee one, an official Bruce Lee one with them. So I
Okay.
have like all their stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, I have like I buy random things. Like I had to buy this like stupid like Wolverine figure because so, I guess stuff like that.
I'm
Um,
glad that Wolverine was your Marvel pick. He's such a dope character.
yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
also I have posters too. Prints. I get
Prince.
prints from like my artist friends and artists that I'm into. So
Okay, very cool, very cool. And I guess at some point we're gonna see a background that has this much going on.
ah,
Once you're ready to showcase it, in a specific way.
yeah. I mean, I have like a poster wall downstairs, but I feel like my it's like situated the wrong way from the desk. I don't know. I gotta figure out my setup.